We all come to this world and we stand for different things. We have different backgrounds, different orientations, different philosophies about life. But the values that set apart some of the most remarkable Nigerians remain the same. Hard work, persistence, a sense of purpose and history, faith, family, and community. And it is these same values that define him. Born to the middle-class home of Julius Koshebinu and Margaret Agbaje, his childhood was like any other. His father was a banker and his mother a school teacher. Both from humble backgrounds, Julius and Margaret, through sheer hard work, created a better life for their 5 children. Although Julius had worked up the ranks to become the first indigenous executive director of a Nigerian bank, he never forgot where he came from, and he made sure his children never did too.
My father, he was a very strict disciplinarian. He imbibed values that you had to work. You took nothing for granted.
Daddy would always tell them, honesty is the best policy. Integrity.
Kí n pè ní Agbaje níbí, bàbá báǹkì ló ń pè. Bàbá báǹkì ó ṣe gudu méje yà mẹ́fà láàrin mọ̀lẹ́bí.
And from a tender age, being the firstborn son, the second of 5 children, it was his independence that defined him.
We had this magazine, the Eco-Pharmacist, and he was our guest on a particular episode. And it drew my attention to the fact that on grounds of principles, he had some disagreement with his father.
Basically what happened was, then, my father paid the first year's fees. As a Lagos State citizen, I was entitled to scholarship. And so I applied for scholarship at the end of the first year, and I was given. And my father was like, I paid your fees, so can you give me back my money? And I said, no, but this money is for me. He said, no, this money is for your school fees that I have paid. And that, you are free to keep it, but then it means I will no longer pay your fees. And I think at that stage I said, well, I'll take that option. So I looked after myself with the scholarship right through university, and that happened every year until I finished.
In Ile-Ife, he will find love and begin a relationship with a young lady who would become his best friend and his most cherished advisor.
A friend approached me and said a gentleman seemed to like me, and I took one look at him and I said, no sparks, nothing.
In all honesty, yes, I saw a lady that was pretty smart, smallish. She just looked nice, and I suppose I just liked her.
You have friends in your roommates. When gentlemen come calling as he leaves, character assassinate, and we laugh. And he's not tall enough, he's not dark enough, he's not handsome enough, he can't speak English, and so on and so forth. And that was what we would do with each one that came in, and of course, Jimmy was one of the prime targets. But I found out that after a while, as he would leave and my roommates would start the normal, Yola, he did this. It didn't sit so well with me anymore. And after a while, I just had to tell them, look, stop making fun of this guy. I actually really do like him.
In the early 80s, when graduates chased money and settled for lucrative office jobs, he chose to build a future by founding his own company, JK Pharmaceutical and Manufacturing.
You had a lady who was not talking about working for a major corporate and never guaranteed you 30 days make one pay, but one saying that, look, if you don't work hard, if you don't generate the revenue, you can't make the money.
At some point, Agbaje was actually the sole distributor Pfizer, one of the major multinational pharmaceutical companies in the world. Agbaje is also a manufacturer, has a manufacturing plant somewhere in Okada. Basic household product. He has his own brand of methylated spirit, and then one that is his own, Clear Bread. That's JK's brand. In fact, at some point, that was the only mouthwash that the Nigerian market that had an antiseptic.
It built up this sense of, what else can I do? How else can I help? In which way can I help them other than, don't pay for this, I will subsidize this. I think from then, it started resonating within him as to he's been able to actually do more.
And then June 12 happened.
There are several ways of shouting yay. You say yay, people will run. If you say yay, 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 yeah, 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 they will dance. It's the same yay. We can still say what we want to say, which is the truth, without ruffling anybody's feathers. You see, it's a matter of presentation, and as far as I'm concerned, this is a military government is not an ideal government to have. That's why we are all praying for democracy.
You had the elections coming up, 1993. You had two candidates at that time, and for me, they were both government contractors, so to say. So I had no interest. I think until the night of the interview, where they had the debate. Until the night of the debate, when I saw the two of them, and to me, they were miles apart. We voted. The results started coming out, and then all of a sudden, the elections were annulled. And for me, the turning point was, I felt like it was a personal slap on me. It was like, why should that happen? I slept late, woke up early to exercise my voting rights, like many other Nigerians, and then somebody or some clique just decided that they were going to annul the elections. And of course, with such things, all you need is to kind of find people of like minds, and I believe that the concerned professionals just came in very handy.
What we were concerned about really was the country. It wasn't about Abiola or Tofa. It was about the country and the fact that we thought this was a rape of the people.
Concerned professionals that time, you had Atedo Peterside, you had Patutomi, the Tola Mogoluris, quite a number of us. Even my brother Joey Bokwe was also in concerned professionals. Obi was involved, Ezekiel Sini. So some of us come a long way.
In 1998, fate placed him in the inner circles of Afenifere. It was here that Pa Abraham Adesanya drew him close.
There were some people, the daddy's age group. Abraham Adesanya.
He was my political father, so to say, my mentor, political mentor. He was somebody I respected, somebody who I saw qualities of leadership.
So when they went to his shop, he said, Baba, what do you want to buy? Or leave the list with us and give the boys the money. Perhaps the money won't cover, but we send all the drugs to Papa. So I think the old man then came back and said, Jimmy, you just see us like masquerades, dancing. You never ask what we are doing politically. He said, my daddy wasn't here. Late Abraham said, we know your daddy. Just come into our midst and see that we are normal people. That was how he joined them.
He was a selfless leader. When you talk about leadership being selfless, Adesanya would serve, would do everything and forget about himself. He was a disciplinarian. He was a timekeeper. He was a man of culture. He was an honest man.
It was when the daddy died, then I got to know he was the treasurer of Afenifere. In fact, that was when people knew he was going along the political way.
Today, we are on the streets of Lagos to find out what kind of governor the people of Lagos State want come 2007.
A governor that I would prefer for Lagos State is one that will take the interest of the masses at heart, hard-working governor.
Somebody who has fear of God.
In 2007, he would vie for the office of Governor of Lagos State. His conviction that everyone should have an equal opportunity to prove themselves.
You know, for everyone who is passionate about something and, who over the years has been a volunteer, either in your church, your faith organization, your profession, anything, that you have potential for politics. And so having been in Afenifere and trying to advise and trying to assess and appraise, you get this feedback that, you think it's easy, kind of. You are being unrealistic. It doesn't work like that. And at a stage, something snaps in you and you say, look, that I haven't done it is not because I can't do it. It's just because if you can do it, then I don't need to do it. But then when you see that maybe it's not being done the way you want, then you say, well, I can do it, and I'll show you that I can do it.
In this world, we have different backgrounds, orientations, and philosophies about life. But we are all searching for the same things: opportunity, well-being, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In the end, for each and every one of us, that's what really counts.
If leadership is the humanity of governance, you would imagine it would have embedded in it core values like compassion, kindness, meekness, and all of that. And I think that is what the Jimi Agbaje epitomizes.
Jimmy has always, and I guess this is from his father, being a man of steel, a man of great principle, who will be flexible to fashion and therefore will be fashionable with young people, but will be absolutely inflexible when it comes to principle on the right hand, and would only see the steel in him move on its axis and change because there's superior logic or there's superior reasoning.
When you look at what Jimi has achieved, whether business or charity that affects ordinary people, I will argue that is a symbol of what we all aspire to be as a Lagosian or as a Nigerian.
This Jimi you are looking at is going to be a different Jimi when he becomes governor of Lagos State, because I know he's a disciplinarian like his father. I know his family. They are very good family, and I'm sure that what he will do if he becomes governor will be very difficult to be met up by any other person.
Bí Jimi bá ṣe dáadáa, kò jẹ́ ìjọlójú fún wa. Torí ọmọ máa ń sọ pé ọmọ òní bá pèlè bàbá àti ìyá ẹ̀ kò ṣàṣọdá.
Life, everybody should have equal opportunities, and so when you do find people that for some reason are not given that opportunity and you're in a position to help, then why not? Again, in our society, we look at we assess ourselves based on how much money you have rather than how much you have improved the society. And that's what happens. that civilization is really about how well you have impacted on your environment.